Welcome to the Engineering, Emotions, and Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Wink. Welcome to the show where we help you be less stressed, more energized, and find a life of passion. Today, going to be talking about a topic related to a little story that happened. It was in Costa Rica during my expedition trip to sacred sites. One of the sites, we were staying at a very, very remote hotel that there was no road to it. There wasn't even a dock. You had to take a boat to get there. And so everything came in by boat. And since there's no dock, they back the boat in and get as close as they can. And then basically you have to carry it over the waves, over the water, and up the beach to get to all the supplies, people, whatever, to the hotel. And, because of that, for dinner and for lunch and for other meals, they had a set menu with usually a couple options. And come to dinner one evening, and this one woman has a plate of French fries, and someone next to her goes, "There were no French fries on the menu. How did you get French fries?" And then the woman just replied, "I asked for them." And so often in life, we just go by what's on the menu, and we don't think of like, well, what do we really want? Because we don't think that we are valuable enough to get what we truly want out of the infinite possibilities. But when we own our power and value our value and go, hey, this is what I want, then what you want can become a reality. It becomes something that can, be like an Amazon order where it's just, it's on the way. You go, hey, I want some French fries. And they go, okay, yeah. And, 20 minutes later, they've, made the French fries hot, fresh, ready to eat. And so much is like that. And so today I'm going to talk about how you can value your value. But first I'm going to talk about 3 different instances that have come across in my life recently where I've had the opportunity to see where I wasn't owning my power and being, in integrity with what my value really is, and getting the option to exercise that. So the first one involves, I was asked to help somebody get a meditation retreat coordinated. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can, sure, I can help with this. And I was kind of told that I'd be, a part of this meditation, because that's kind of my jam, man. I do this Tuesday 20 thing, where every week on Tuesdays I'm doing 20 minutes of meditation on the lunch hour for those of you here on the Pacific Coast, and I make the recordings available. So just message me or send me an email at podcast@justinwink.com if you're interested in how to be a part of that. And I've done meditation workshops before, and I do recorded meditations, all sorts of stuff. So kind of my thing. And so when asked, and I was like, oh yeah, he was like, I know this is like the business you want to get into. I was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And so, it's like, well, there's this one, cause I got the indication that low cost was important. So found the yoga studio where I used to teach, yogatation, out in Placerville outside of Sacramento. Arranged that, and, got the date, got all that. And then now smash cut to, this past week, I get asked like, hey, did you find out, do we need to put the deposit down? I was like, well, we got the thing reserved, but yeah, let me circle back and, ask the owner of the studio, hey, did you, do you want us to pay, for the deposit for the use of the studio the full day? Do you want us to pay that fee? She's like, yeah, it turns out there's another class at the same time. And I'm like, well, for our event, we already got 20 people signed up. wanting, good to go. She's like, yeah, they can't move it. I could use some flexibility here. Which I found was a really odd way to say, I'm not going to do anything about it. You need to change. And then I recalled like, oh yeah, this is the woman that when I did my workshop and I asked, what am I going to get paid? Out of the funds that, did the workshop, the people that attended the workshop, they paid their money to her. And then me as, the person doing my part of giving the workshop, it was like, well, when do I get my, when do we close the loop here on this transaction? And got quite the runaround, oh, you stopped by earlier today? Like, oh, I'd closed up shop, just missed you. And, I thought I put the check, and I don't know, just it's like, oh yeah, I don't like doing business with this person. This person is just, nice person, wish them the best, but I have no interest in ever doing business with this person ever again, because I like people that, can keep their word and things like that, not that there's, there's different intentions, different abilities. And I go by people's behaviors, and from the way this woman conducts her business, just not for me. A lot of people like it. I'm, create some great things. I'm sure it's great for a lot of people, just not for me. Just, so I realized that, oh, that's right. She did not keep our booking. I'm like, and, then it turned out that the friend who had asked me to, help with this really, I think just wanted me as a, I don't know, but my take on it was, it felt like I was just kind of like almost like an admin, that I really wasn't, on par. I wasn't considered an equal in terms of teaching ability. It was like a little afterthought, thrown me a little bone of, oh, would you like to, guide, 1 hour of silent meditation? And I'm like, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I can guide an entire hour of not just silent. Silent is, to me, it's easy. Like, it's like for most people, walking around the block, that's like walking around the block for me. It's like, this doesn't really feel quite like what I thought it was going to be. And also this is, located now, 3 hours away from where I live. More on where that in the future, or part of the show. So teasing that, more to come. Where does Justin live now? Find out as you continue listening. So I realized like, whoa, this is just not what I thought it was going to be. This is not what I want to do. I'm not getting paid for any of this, and I'm not getting to learn. I'm not getting to expand. And I'm like, I don't want to get in the middle of this. So I let my, the friend that, asked me to help out with this, I was like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's the woman's number. I don't want to get in the middle of this. Forgive me for getting you involved, into this person. Probably should not have. And he's like, well, do you want to still do the guided meditation? I'm like, honestly, no, I'd rather not. My heart's really not in it. And then, he kind of told me he's disappointed in the way I handled it. That's fine. I feel like I handled it, as well as I could when I knew this is not what I want to do. I was upfront. I was honest about it. Said, no, I'm not doing this negotiation for this, this nonsense. Someone who can't, check the calendar for their own business of what they got going on. And then figuring out, and then it's just like, this is just not something I want to do. Period. In a story. No big deal. But man, did it feel good to just, tell someone, that I find intimidating. This person is a very powerful person, very big, powerful presence. And so I realized that I was just doing it to make this person happy. I wasn't doing it for me at all. And to go like, what do I want to do? And to go to somebody and go like, nope, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to do that. And then, they weren't happy about it, but still I'm not changing. That felt really good. It was scary. And then after I did it, I was very happy I did it. So that's one example of coming into my power. Second example is going to, having moved, as some of you listeners of the podcast have known, gotten divorced, not been living at my house. So, where does Justin want to live? I've been, spending more and more time out in the Bay Area, meeting some really awesome people, some great spiritual communities, and just enjoying. And it feels good. Good things happen. Just, some amazing, amazing people here. And was already going to be living at a house in the Bay Area for a month. Had great opportunity, great arrangement. So that's actually where I am now. So I've been here for a week. Got to get at least another few weeks, and I'm like, this is great. I intend to stay in this area. So I tell my boss at work, I'm moving, and I had to move out of my other place. There's some bunch of stuff where I had moved into a place in Folsom. It did not work out. Maybe I'll talk about that. Maybe not. But I thought I'd be living in Folsom. It just was not working out. It's like, oh, this is just not the place for me anymore. Just where I'm at in my life, who I'm liking to be around, what I'm liking to do. Folsom, not for me. It's great for a lot of people. Was great for me at a time. But now I feel compelled to be in the Bay Area of California. So tell my manager I want to move. And he's like, okay, I got to go check with HR. Well, actually, he wanted me to check with HR. Is it possible? And, is there a increase in pay? Because historically, you get paid more if you live in more expensive places. I'm neither here nor there, whether that's right, wrong, and different. It just falls into that category of it is, it has been. And if it is, has been, and I'm going to be somewhere where historically there's been more pay, I'm like, I'm going to ask for it. So I asked for it and originally got, maybe this isn't a good time. Maybe we should do it later. And I was like, well, I've pretty much moved. I got the address. I'd like us to try to do it now. Because to me, if I get a bump in pay, sooner the better. A month of more pay later that's 1 month with lower pay. Like, I want more. Who doesn't want more now? And I get that probably to somebody in HR, it's 5 or 10 minutes of extra work. I get it's inconvenient. Nobody wants extra work, but a little chunk of change on my end, over time, compounded all that stuff. Big difference. And he's like, okay, let me go check it out. And turned out a lot of things worked out and got it approved pretty much the next day. And I was like, yes, I asked for what I want. I wanted to move to where I wanted. And I wanted to get the pay to go with where I went. And by asking, I got it. So I valued my value, asked for what I want, and it came relatively easily. So often we think we got to work so hard and we got to get everything in place, when sometimes it can just be as simple as, this is what I want, and letting people know that's what you want, and then it can happen. So that's the other story. I had a third one that, this is why I take notes sometimes, because I'm like, I get so much cool stuff going. Oh yeah. So this was another one. This is, if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you are someone who likes to learn, you like to grow, you like to better yourself, and maybe you have paid money for classes, coaches, certifications, those types of things. I know I have. I'm probably at this point in my life, after 10 years of various meditation, coaching programs, whatever, I'm probably $100,000 into my personal development after all of my undergraduate, graduate, Ph.D. electrical engineering. So that's not even including that, because I value continued growth, and I'll be honest, best investment. I really do think all this stuff is valuable. So not knocking it, but I was in Vegas for basically learning how to go and, talk to people in person, specifically, women, how to go hey, how are you doing? I noticed you from across the room. I actually did a really cool Tuesday 20 recorded session on that, doesn't have to be a man asking a woman, could be a woman talking to a man, or whatever it is. Anybody talking to anybody that they find an attraction to. wouldn't you like to be able to, if there's someone that catches your interest, be able to go and, strike up the conversation and, see how that goes, and not just be what if and feeling afraid that you're going to be a bother or that you're going to cause a scene or something like that. So basically went to, learn those skills to be able to skillfully interact with humans out in the real world. Because a lot of people still very, very, afraid of leaving the house for various reasons. Not to say there aren't reasons, yet there are opportunities and ways to do it safely in good environments and do it in a way that people can feel safe, comfortable, and good about it. So was there, and like most well-oiled business machines, at the end of the weekend, there was a pitch for a way to continue to grow with this group of men. There's 3 people. 2 people are the main business people, and then there's this other guy that I found he's just phenomenal. Like, just his teaching abilities, just his way of being, just a real man of integrity. Like, I learned so much from that guy. So, a lot of respect. And at some point I might get him on the podcast here, because his name's Jake, just an awesome guy. And I was like, yeah, this program, it sounds great. Like, this is all a bunch of stuff I like. I love it. I'm in. And, it's like, well, how much? And they're like $5,500, but you can put $500 down and pay the rest later. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I put my $500 down, and turns out Jake and I, we are on the same flight back to Sacramento from where this event was in Vegas. It's like, we're talking and, learning about him. He's learning about me. It's like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I got my Ph.D. in electrical engineering. And Ben was like, wait, you have a Ph.D.? I'm like, yeah, and I've done yoga teacher training. And, I just got a book that came out, Activate Your Life, Volume 3. And I do this podcast, the Engineering Emotions Energy. He's like, wow, like, we should collaborate and we should talk and stuff, and love to get your feedback on things. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And feeling overwhelmed by the daily grind? Imagine if you could pause, reset, and truly connect with a calmer, more fulfilled you. It's not just a dream, it's absolutely possible. Hi, I'm Justin, and I invite you to discover the life-changing techniques in my book, Engineered to Love. Right now, I'm offering a free chapter complete with guided audios that have already helped so many people find peace amidst the chaos. These aren't just any techniques. They're transformative practices designed to help you love yourself and engage deeply with the present moment, without even having to close your eyes to the world around you. So join us at engineeredtolove.com/sample and access your free guided session. It's time to bust the busyness and embrace the joy, ease, and love in your everyday life. Don't wait. Start your journey to a more relaxed and recharged you today, because you deserve to live a life you love. Visit engineeredtolove.com/sample. See you there. And then I was like talking about, doing this extended program with one of my mentors. She was like, you might want to consider if that's, good value for you. And I thought about it, and I was like, wait, like, me and him, we're talking, like, we're like at a collaborative level on some of this stuff in some ways. Like, I shouldn't be, that the program is a very valuable program. Like, I would, encourage like many, many men to, purchase, what they were offering. But I realized, like, I've learned most of this. I could teach most of this stuff. I should be teaching most of the stuff and getting paid for it, or at the very least, not paying money, but, being a source, being equal, and then working towards getting paid to teach people for these types of things. And so I, when it came time to pay the additional $5,000 on this program, I was like, you know what? Nope, this is not actually in alignment with what I want to do. So thank you very much. Best of luck, but I'm not going to do the program. And that is like the 500 best dollars that I have spent and got nothing but my self-respect, and to own that I know that I am more valuable because of letting that $500 deposit go, because I didn't spend that additional $5,000, and I didn't spend all of the time relearning stuff that I really already know, a lot of stuff that I already do. that's already a part of who I am, and that I should be and will be bringing out in the world and benefiting with my own programs and my own collaborations and things like that. So I was really, really proud of myself. And so who cares about all these stories? The point is to show that it's possible to do these sort of uncomfortable things and feel amazing at the other end of it. And there are also ways to, because maybe you don't have an opportunity right now of someone to say no to, or something that you want to ask, because maybe you've suppressed a lot of, these urges. It hasn't even been something that you've thought possible. And a lot of this comes down to, I've done, some shows on this about, loving yourself. And this is, a lot of these interactions reminded me that I still, even though I've come a long way, working on loving myself. And it can really be as simple as, I really recommend, love yourself like your life depends on it. Just, Google that or check that out on Amazon. Really, really awesome book. You don't have to read the whole thing. And one of the exercises that I hadn't done, but my mentor, Jim Fortin, reminded everyone in his transformational coaching program, which I'm doing my third round of currently, that the mirror exercise, where you go stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and there's two ways to say it. And there's a lot of scientific research to back this up, which we don't need to go into, because it's one of those, probably, if you're this far along with me, you're probably, in and open to trying it. If, not, you probably weren't listening to this anyway. And that's okay, because this really is about, the people that connect with me, that really want to understand, where I've been, where I am, and where I'm going. And they are like, man, Justin, I think my track is kind of going somewhere close to where your track has been, and would love to, make it a little bit easier. And I'm here to help you lighten your load, get a little further down the track, so that we all end up a little bit better off, a little bit better in this world, and basically loving life and creating the life that we want. Less stress, more energy, more passion in what we do. That's what it's all about here, right? So what? It's super simple. It's super simple. Yet it's also really powerful, and it can be challenging because emotions are going to come up. And often it's good emotions, but they're such powerfully good emotions that it can be hard to sit with that. So be gentle with yourself, and understand, this is one of those where you're going to want to make this a habit. And I think I got some episodes on habits. But basically it's, you go to the mirror, look at yourself, and you just tell yourself, I love myself. That's one option. Or you can say, I love you. So whichever one kind of feels right. I've been doing, some deep eye contact and saying, I love you. And you want to say it, but you also want to feel it as much as you can. And it might require thinking of, something or someone that you really love. Like my cat Julius is one of my examples for deep compassion and love. So sometimes it's like, bring Julius to, and then I get that warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart. And then I, look at myself and say, I love you. I love you. And, I'll feel it in my body. Sometimes I'll tear up a little bit. So 10 times. So, but, really take the time to feel it, say it out loud if possible, and then do it 3 times a day. So I love myself, or I love you, to yourself in the mirror, 10 times each, 3 times a day for 30 days. I've started that. I'm now on my 3rd day. And already things are feeling easier, better, more clear. And I will keep doing this, but this is something you can do, because I've been doing just the, I love myself meditation. And I decided, based off of these, these stories that I've had, that it was sort of challenging for me to, value my value, own my power, that it's like, oh, I need to really polish up my self-love, self-love, self-worth, really, really interrelated. And when you love yourself just for being yourself and that you value your desires, it can then just come out of you more naturally, as opposed to, somebody have to talk you up into it or you get rah-rah, it just becomes a natural expression of your self-love. Because one of the powerful questions is, what would I be doing if I truly loved myself? What would I be not doing? What would I be doing? So that's it for this episode. So I really would encourage you, if you haven't tried that exercise of, loving yourself in the mirror, that could be interesting. I mean, I don't want to see the pictures of that type of love. You close on, please, people. If you're going to send me a picture of you loving yourself in the mirror, I don't want any weird bathroom selfies, but do love yourself. Let me know if you got any questions. podcast@justinwink.com. Hit me up on social media. Justin Wink, Ph.D. on Facebook, Instagram. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Let's get the dialogue going and, rate this 5 stars, and let people know that you found a good, entertaining resource to, make life a little bit better, a little bit less stress, a little bit more energized, a little bit full of passion, my friends. And with that, good day.